Hello and welcome to your favorite program. It's SOUQ Polls and my name is Chooks, John Rogers Chooks. You know how we do this by now. You just know that we tell you the same thing we told you yesterday and last week and a month ago. Don't keep quiet. That's more like a tagline you hear. And we say, whatever it is, on whose divide the gains or the losses are. It doesn't matter the country that is burdened on the loan or the country that is giving it or the agency that is making profit off it or the policies attached to it. We say, don't keep quiet. Talk. When every of our aggregated voices gets heard, then something will happen. It's SOUQ Polls, and today we will be talking about something peculiar about an African country, Nigeria to be precise, and look at issues that are stemming from things that are currently going on in the last few months, and talk on some good expert experience and get some knowledge. And also get to look at people that are working in this particular sector and ask some good questions. Fortunately, we may argue, which I look forward to, or we might get schooled, which is also very good. But all the same, remember, this is SOUQ Polls, where we tell you wherever you are, call your friends, your neighbors. Let's talk. Let's listen. Let's argue. Let's just talk things through and make sure that tomorrow we don't regret keeping quiet for issues we could have raised yesterday. We'll go on a very short break. I'll get to introduce our topic and our guest. Remember, this is SOUQ News. We are all about positive programming. A few days ago, we had Dr. Idahosa right here in the studio, and we were looking at why are multinational companies leaving Nigeria. It was kind of a good debate on that particular day. Those for, those against. And people were asking some very good questions, but we didn't go there. We'll be going there today. Now, we are now coming and we are asking ourselves, good, if multinationals are feeling the pinch, whatever their story is or whatever their storyline is, we might not be too sure. But wherever it is, we are now bringing it home and asking ourselves this question. What about small, medium-scale enterprises in Nigeria? What about those micro companies? What about those petty traders? How are they faring? That's where we are heading to. That's what we want to talk about. And there's no other person to do justice to this particular topic other than the president of the Association of Small Business Owners Association of Nigeria. And we are looking at what are the impact of the current economic challenges in Nigeria. That's what we'll be looking at. Looking at the vulcanizer, the mechanic. It might not be the very big conglomerate mechanic or that very big time manufacturing vulcanizer, but we're looking at the everyday corner of the street vulcanizer. We're looking at that mechanic that wakes up every day and what he makes in the week feeds his family, takes care of his bills. We're looking at that trader in the market. We're looking at that small manufacturer somewhere, not the likes of Dangote, mind you, but we'll get to Dangote though. Now we are looking at every one of them, the barber, the farmer, the guy that is working metals, the electrician, the person that is trying to make sure ends meet by waking up, farming his ideas, getting his hands dirty and working it out, starting his own business, being an employer of labor. It could be 2, it could be 3, it could be 20. These are the people we are looking at, and we are trying to see what has the economy played around their destiny and their businesses. In the last 1 year, we've had issues, we've had challenges, but yes, we will need to talk about that. And that is why we'll be inviting to be on SOUQ Polls today, Dr. Femi Egbeshola, who happens to be, like I said before, he's the president of Association of Small Business Owners of Nigeria. You will agree with me that if we take politics out of it, this is more like the people everybody should be running to and getting his signature. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I had to go call and he agreed and honored our invitation at this very short notice. Please join me as I welcome on SOUQ Polls after a while our own very Mr. Sam Oruvoje, who happens to be a public and policy analyst. Sir, you're welcome to SOUQ Polls.
My pleasure, Chooks. Nice to be here again.
Thank you very much. You know I missed you.
I'm not sure about that.
So we are looking at the impacts of the current economic challenges in Nigeria on medium and small scale enterprises. not forgetting the micro ones. So we tried connecting with Dr. Beshola, who will join us very soon. But now we're looking at it from this particular light. First, it was fuel subsidy. Then we had power tariff. To what extent has it impacted micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises?
Thank you very much again, Chooks. I think the challenge here for me is that when the government policy, as it were, is not favorable to small and medium enterprise, become a major challenge. And in the long run, small and medium enterprise are the engine of growth. And once that sector has challenges, become very difficult, as it were, to be able to drive development. In that regard, therefore, I think that the interest rate, first and foremost, is so high that small and medium enterprises may not be able to access credit for their businesses. Number two, more often than not, the cost of doing business in Nigeria becomes so high.
When
so
we say the cost of doing business, can we kind of break it down?
I'm going to take it one by one. I say cost of doing business. So
Great.
People are buying diesel
Okay.
to power generators.
That was before or after the fuel subsidy removal?
At any point in time, even after the fuel subsidy removal,
Okay.
people are still buying diesel to be able to power their equipment or their
And run business.
and run production.
And they're expected to make profit.
We're not even talking about profit here. We're not talking about even break even, to the point that most entrepreneurs are struggling to even meet up, even with production. Now talk about revenue assurance. Now talk about profitability, which is the sole business for entrepreneur. When you invest money, you want to have return on investment, which is profit. So most businesses are struggling. So when businesses struggle, they will not be able to pay tax to government. So the entire ecosystem, in a way, is affected because the ease of doing business is affected. Government cannot collect reasonable, whether corporate, whether small and medium enterprise, taxes from those who are doing business. So it's a very difficult terrain. But I'm not painting a picture of doom, but what needs to be done, as it were, is for government and the organized private sector to put resources together.
Whose resources? Government, organized private sector?
Yes, government.
The organized private sector is the same one that are going through issues.
Yes, they are. But then they are collaborative effort that can reduce the cost of doing business. So when I say
Collaborative to reduce the cost of doing business.
you know, to reduce their cost of doing business. What do I mean? Some business can form some hub where they can do what you call shared services.
Okay.
So they can collectively take loan from the bank where that interest is absorbed by a collective.
Okay.
Number two, shared services. They can work as a group, pay a common tax, buy diesel with a common purpose. So you share these resources based on your contribution and your productivity, I think.
And your consumption.
And your consumption. So there are industrial hubs designed by the government, particularly Lagos State government and the federal government, where people can locate some of these businesses so that the cost of even rentals, locational rentals, can be reduced to some extent. So that's why I use the word, if they can pull resources. Resources not necessarily mean financial resources.
Okay.
The other resources beyond financial resources.
You did not just take off, you took flight. And that is one of the things we get on SOUQ Pulse when we have Mr. Sam. Now, we are going to call in and get our guest on to the show. Mr. Dr. Beshola, are you there, please? Oh,
yes, I'm
good.
here.
Nice.
Can't hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. All right.
Thank
Good
you very
afternoon
much. You're
from
welcome
here.
on SOUQ Pulse. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. Thank you for having me once again.
You're welcome. Now, we're talking and looking at the issues being faced by micro, small, and medium scale enterprises, looking majorly at the current economic challenges. And Mr. Sam has gone way, way up, not just to talk about some of them, but also to profile some solutions. Now, we are looking at the president of an association that houses major part of these enterprises. We want to hear from you directly. What are the major issues the current crop of economic challenges have shown and affecting businesses?
Well, in recent times, micro, small, and medium sized businesses have been facing back to back challenges. It's been one after the other. It started from COVID-19. The major hit was from COVID-19. There we moved down to Naira redesign. From Naira redesign, we jumped down to removal of fuel subsidy. And from there, we had to go to the issue of floating of the naira, removal of subsidy on the on electricity, and other avalanche of issues back to back. We have quite a number of new taxes being introduced, new levies being introduced. We have the issue of inflation eating the roof. We have the issue of not being able to import again because there were some ban at the time on some imported products, and at the time again all were liberalized. Those bans were removed without enough policy backing to support those who have done backward integration to go forward to see how they can make impact with the ban that has been placed on some items. It's been so rough for SMEs. And that's why the statistics did show that in recent times, we had over 2 million businesses that has closed shop. And you also discovered that even multinationals are not left out. Quite a number of them has exited the country. Some have downsized or diversified to other businesses. It shows really that the environment, the business environment, is not really conducive. You also discover that it's not just about business alone. Even the citizens are hungry and are hungry. There's poverty in the line. We keep on going down the poverty line, and the welfare and livelihood of an average Nigeria is negatively impacted. Many of our business owners now have gone as far as doing menial jobs. Some have abandoned their business to become Okada riders, Marua riders. Some have traveled out in the name of Japa, and on like that. It's been very, very bad. And the unfortunate side of that, there really seems to be no real hope at sight.
At this particular point, after this description, this is where we get to ask ourselves, when everything looks very, very cloudy, that is when opportunities are also abound. From your perspective, what should people start looking at? I'm not looking for solutions, but what are the problems we should start solving as a people that can turn to business and become profitable?
Well, for like you identify, for every situation, for every challenges, there are always opportunities, and in this also, there are pockets of opportunities here and there. One of it is that because our naira has become so devalued, it has come to a point that our products are very cheap in the international market, extremely cheap because of the low value of naira. And what does that mean? It portends that it's time for us to begin to look out inward to begin to export our products. Yes, exporting our product now makes it also very cheap in the global market. It helps us to even bring in forex to the country, and for that reason, quite a number of SMEs are now engaging in export, light exports, and the government in a way is also liberalizing exports, such that we can now do very light export. You don't need to have a product that can fill in a container again. Even a bag full of product can now be exported legally to your country or destination of choice. So we're able to tap into that. At the same time, too, because quite a number of multinationals are leaving, it also makes the market more attractive, so to speak, because the competition reduces in a way. So we're able to also begin to sell our products and services to the locals. now servicing those customers that these multinationals used to service in the past. We also have the opportunity now of telling government that there's need for us to have some support from the government, and that is also coming to play at the moment. You will discover that the government of the day just announced some form of intervention fund up to the tune of 2 trillion naira to support businesses, to support transportation in the name of CNG vehicles, bringing in CNG vehicles to the country, to support the agricultural sector, to support some key infrastructure development in the country. And I think that also, in a way, will also help us to alleviate some of the challenges that we are having and help us to be able to scale. Beyond that also is the fact that we on our own has begun to become more innovative and creative because of these challenges. Challenges helps you to think outside the box, and that's one of the things that this has also helped us to do. Now we're able to sell our products without needing really to have our own transport system. We're using the different form of technology we have, selling on social media platform, using logistic companies to deliver products rather than sending our buses or trucks on the road with a very high cost of fuel. We have also come to understand that we need to synergize among ourselves. We are now partnering with like minds to run our business instead of running it all alone. We're also having shared facility, like my good friend did mention the other time, shared facilities that we can come together and work together and share costs of production, cost of services and overhead. We're also looking at how we can also use some of this technology to reduce our workforce, and that is also happening. Some of us have downsized our staff strength and use technology to fill in the gap, and it's creativity that
when
has
we go
come
by
because
that
of the
route of
challenges we
some of
have at
us
the
have
moment.
downsized our staff strength, which means some families have lost jobs, which means a breadwinner or even the current winner in the family is now going to look for where to get a daily pay or a monthly pay. That might not really augur well for that family. But before we get to that particular part, because I'll be coming back to you on that, let's get to Mr. Sam. In the last few months, we've had the Central Bank of Nigeria twice push rates up. Is this good for SMEs?
Dr. Beshola a little while ago underscored the challenge, which he described back-to-back challenge in the recent time. And I think the interest rate regime is not favorable for small and medium enterprise, in my view. And most of these businesses cannot access credit. And once you're not able to access credit, then it becomes difficult to be able to operate optimally. So the concept here is that why the central bank is trying to regulate its operation by its monetary policy regime or mandate, there's a need to find a way to see how they can lend specifically to small and medium enterprise using a single-digit lending rate. If we don't sustain that, most of the businesses, like I mentioned earlier, they are struggling. And when the real sector, the engine of growth, is struggling, then the country itself will be struggling. So they need some concessioning in terms of how business is done, local government, state government, and the federal, double taxation, the rates. Then some of these industrial hubs that are created by states should be made affordable so that this business can provide a location where they can take advantage of shared or common services to reduce the cost of operation. If we don't address that, then the challenge and the reality of small and medium enterprise will continue to be difficult to manage. Mind you, once this engine of growth does not operate optimally because there's no disposable income by the citizen to be able to patronize these businesses, then whatever production or services they provide, once it's challenged, then they talk about downsizing that he mentioned a little while ago will continue. And the social implication for government will become very difficult to manage at the end of the day.
Okay. Dr. Beshola, I will be coming back to you. Now, let's look at it from this particular angle. We heard just a few days ago that the National Assembly, in their wisdom, have decided to grant autonomy. That is just within there. The president has not signed that yet. But they have come out to say, okay, good, we are going to pass this into law and make sure that there's autonomy to the local government. Now, if we go down to the books, what it means, the local government gets their money. That was spoken a bit earlier in the show some days back, and also on Early Exchange. Now, let's ask this direct question. Is this funds going directly to local government, which is closest to the people? Is it in any way going to impact small and medium-scale enterprises?
Very well, yes. You will discover that we have a lot of activities at the center, that's the federal government, and very little activity at the closest level of government, that is the local government, and that is really very bad. You discover that most local governments are just armchair chairmen of local government because they cannot really do much without fund. Some of us have been advocating, particularly from the position of our association, that local government should be able to incentivize the SME sector in their own locality. But they've not been able to do so because of funding. We believe that if this fund is there, it will be possible for them to do much more. You will remember that in the regime of former president, there was this all-up setup that is one local government, one product, meaning that a local government should develop a particular product that will be of national value and, if possible, exportable to other countries from their own local government, meaning that they have to identify that particular product, invest in it, and make sure that it is commercially viable enough to serve the nation and, if possible, export. That has not been possible because of funding. If this fund is there, you will discover that a lot of infrastructure will come up in different local governments of the country, and it is going to elicit a lot of business endeavors. For me, it's the best way to go. Some of the local governments that are able to somehow get some fund from their state government are doing very, very well. If you look at some local government in Lagos State in particular today, you will discover that so many things are being done to support SMEs. But when you go to other states, it's a different ballgame. We need government to make it legal, pass it as a law, that local government should be autonomous. Funding should go to them. And it is also good for us to be able to have those kind of government that we can question, that we can see, that we can feel. We can see our local government chairmen and their councillors, they live with us. We can see those actors in the local government that we can ask direct questions, that we can also recommend and advise on what to do and how to go about it. That's not possible most times at the federal level and even at the state level.
Okay. Let me come to you, Mr. Sam. Dr. Boshoya just brought up this particular what would I call it? Okay, it's more of a proposal. One local government, one product. I feel like laughing, I feel like being happy, I feel like jumping. Is it something that we can say, let's pursue this particular project? That is 774 products that is possible that we can export them. And people will just concentrate. Is it something that is possible?
It's possible. We just need to have the willpower to drive that process, and the ecosystem in terms of the local government autonomy that will be signed to law in a short while by the President of the Federal Republic. If this comes into play, some local governments should be able to provide some incentive, particularly to small and medium enterprises, to drive the process of one product, one local government. And mind you, at the continental level, there's a policy framework that supports intra-African trade. The African trade agreement is a very good public policy instrument at the continental level that should support export and import within the continent of Africa. We have a potential population of over 1.3 billion people. So
in Africa alone.
In Africa alone. So if we open up
customer base.
Yes, if we open up this ecosystem, I think we should be able to export and import products within Africa. So the proposal going forward, in line with Dr. Egbeshola's submission, is that even citizens should focus on consuming made in African goods. This penchant that we have for foreign goods will not help the small and medium enterprises to scale up optimally. And that will be inimical to our own economic growth and development. So we need that service orientation, that consumption that is driven by Africans to consume their own products. Once we're able to empower our small and medium enterprises in terms of manufacturing services, then that will increase on the productivity, national productivity of the country, which will be beneficial to citizens.
That's good. Make Africa eat Africa. Now, there is this particular event that is coming up on Thursday, and that is courtesy Association of Small Business Owners of Nigeria, which our guests, it's not just the president, but it's the man in the forefront and trying to make sure that small businesses across do not just fold, but they come, learn, get assistance, also get rejuvenated and get better and produce more. Then for those that are also wondering, yes, you can be part of it. We'll go on a very short break and you will get to listen and watch the promo for this event coming up on Thursday and the keynote speakers and everyone that is going to be there. SOUQ News will be there, mind you. And we'll also broadcast from that particular venue. But hey, don't go anywhere. We'll get to see the promo and see everyone that is on the bill to be part of this particular project. These are those sort of events that just make me smile from chin to chin. When businesses thrive, then we know that the country is moving forward. Most especially when small businesses thrive, then lesser people are carrying certificates around looking for jobs. More people to employ. And we know people will do well. Thank you very much, Mr. Sam. But now let's get to the meat of this. This is happening on Thursday. And we are getting to see Bank of Industry, Faith Foundation, a lot of technology people. Are you excited about this?
Yes, indeed. Where the conversations can be advanced towards promoting small and medium enterprise, I think that's the place to be, particularly from the point of view where people will be talking about business processes, how to reinvent your businesses for growth potential. I think is a welcome development. And if you look at the critical stakeholders, based on the promo that you just showed a little while ago, I think it's comforting that the Association of Small and Medium Enterprise is putting up this together to energize the process of trying to see how we can put small and medium enterprises and put them at the center stage of development, which is a critical milestone to providing economic opportunities for citizens and those who are entrepreneurs to thrive.
Thank you very much. Now let's go back to the very reason why this is being put up in the first place. Let's go to Dr. Femi Egbeshola. Sir, you're welcome back.
Thank you.
Very much. Now let's get to the last bit of it. Your submission, which happens to be the part of the topic you'll be taking on, is saying not too late to turn the curve. So who exactly are you speaking to?
We are talking to SMEs, or perhaps NMSMEs. N is nano, M is micro, S is small, M is medium enterprises or business owners. We're talking directly to them. It has come to a time that quite a number of us are already losing hope, and we want to use this opportunity to reinvigorate us, to let us know that there's always light at the end of the tunnel, to also let us know that it's also an opportunity for us to do better. And that's by finding ways to turn the curve. And that's why we are organizing this. For us, we have discovered that one key thing that MSMEs needs now is information. They need capacity building, they need knowledge, they need to be able to cope with today's challenges. And one best way to also cope is to adopt technology in our processes. So this workshop is actually promoting technology. At the same time, too, we also know that it is very difficult to do business in this part of the world without finance. And that's where we are. Well, that is why we're also talking extensively on finance, different mode of finance. Unfortunately, we also have a lot of funding platforms available in the country, but MSMEs are not aware of it. I can give you one or two instances. There's a fund lying with Jais Bank, an international fund that has been advertised over and over again. Till today, only 3% of MSMEs have been able to access it because many of them don't know. We heard of the Sterling Smithers Fund that also that is available to MSMEs at single digit interest rates. As at today, when it is almost a year that it is running, only 87 MSMEs are able to access it. Thousands or millions are not aware. So information is key, and it is this kind of platform that we can use to pass such information to MSMEs so that they can have all that they need to be able to scale and grow. At the same time, too, quite a number of those speakers that we're inviting are policy makers, are policy reformers. We also want to have that opportunity to be able to interface with them and also tell them one-on-one, face-to-face, our own challenges too, and provide our own suggestions and recommendations to them so that they can also work it out with the larger government. We also want to use it as an opportunity for MSMEs to be able to network with each other to see how they can synergize, how they can work together and produce something better that will help them grow, because we have also understand that most of us cannot grow by doing it all by ourselves. We also want to use it to also bring out innovative strategies for growth at this time. There's some tested, trusted strategies that are now available for particularly small business to be able to grow and scale, which many business owners may not be aware of. It's a platform for us also be able to push all of this information out so that MSMEs can actually grow. We also know that the model that works 5-6 years ago is no longer working in today's world, and that's why there's need to continue to reinvent our businesses. Statistics shows that the lifespan of an average business now is about 4 to 5 years, as against the older years when we have about 40 to 50 years lifespan for businesses. Meaning that if you want your business to really stay on top of the game, you must continue to reinvent from time to time. How do you reinvent? How do you go about it? These are some of the information that we are going to dish out at that program. And it will not be good to talk about this without mentioning the massive support we are getting from SOUQ News TV. It's to us, it's marvelous. I want to use this opportunity to thank SOUQ News and the management team of SOUQ News for always supporting the MSME sector and ecospace. It's wonderful seeing organization coming up to support MSME ecosystem. This is what we have been clamoring for all the years, talking to governments, that you must continue to support the driver of the economy. If the driver is challenged, the economy will be challenged too, because we are the one that drives the economy. So we want to say a big thank you to you, SOUQ News, for always supporting us. We also have quite a number of sponsors that have chosen to support us, which I would not want to mention now. And that is those organizations that have also saw need to continue to support MSMEs in their activity so that we can grow and breathe.
Thank you very much. Now, let's look at, for those that will get this information, I want to do some registration or reach across. Who should they reach? What site should they go to, aside the one that we've posted here? Is there any number or something specific or a website they can just go click or call and be part of this organization, part of this event, and get the information they need?
Of course, yes. For us, what you need to do is perhaps send information to us through our email that is designated for this program, that is info@asbon.hub. You can also call us on the phone number 070 300 34643. I take that again, 070 300 34643. With that number, you'll be able to speak with Kazim directly, one of the driver of this particular event, and get to engage with him. It's open to all Nigerians, meaning that you can attend the program for anywhere you are, because we're going to have in-person and virtual session of the program. So wherever you are in the country, you can choose to those who are in diaspora, Nigerians in diaspora, that want to know how things work in the MSME space in Nigeria. I think it's also another opportunity for them to also key in and gain insights on how businesses are done here and what needs to be done better to improve businesses. So by and large, it's an event that every business owner should be interested in attending. And we hope that all will take advantage of this opportunity and become better business owners, such that next year, when we meet again at the next session, we'll be looking at how we have been able to migrate from where we are to where we want to be, how we have been able to scale up, and how we have been able to apply some of those nuggets that we're going to get from this particular event.
Thank you very much, Dr. Femi Egbeshola. It's been a privilege and an honor having you on SOUQ Pulse today. Talk about not just this program, but also talk about the challenges and way forward for small and medium scale enterprises. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you also for having me. Thank you for always being there for us.
We look forward to seeing you on Thursday. Thank you very much, Mr. Sam.
My pleasure.
I know definitely you'll be there on Thursday.
Hopefully.
Thank you. And to everyone that has been part of this program today, I want to say thank you very much. Remember, it's SOUQ Pulse, where we just sit and we just talk and we tell you Africa needs to join the race. So if Africa is joining the race, you are Africa. We need to get productive. And this is where we start from, where you are. Remember, to be part of this program, you can call 070-300, that's 300-34643. Ask for Kazim. Speak with him. Thank you very much. We'll do this again tomorrow, and I promise you it will be better. Have yourself a beautiful evening.